This is the introductory video to referencing using APA, American Psychological Association. The School of Governance uses APA for all writing, for assignments and theses. So you are going to have to use APA referencing, and we'd encourage you to go through this set of videos and make sure that you have mastered it. Why reference? We understand that you're trying to avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism is drummed into all universities or schools, the issue of avoiding plagiarism, making sure that you don't claim other people's work as your own. But let's understand this more fundamentally in terms of what referencing does to you and supports you as a thinker and as a scholar. When you are building an argument in the academic space, you are building a set of evidence that supports that argument that you're making. And that evidence that you are building is based on the work and thinking and writing of other people that have come before you. And it is by referencing those people that you actually build your own authority as a scholar. So the more you are referencing other people, the more you are proving that you have read, which is proving your scholarship. So referencing is not just about avoiding plagiarism. It's not just about acknowledging other people, but it is also about building your authority as a scholar. So how do we reference? So on the one hand, you've got references in text, which we call citation. And on the other side, you've got references in the reference list. So on this slide, we're just looking at references in the text. So a rule, it is always going to be a surname and a year. The surname of the author and the year. If you've got more than one author of an article, you will have multiple surnames, but it will only be the surname, never the initials. It'll be the surname and the year. So if you look on the side there, we've got a paragraph in blue, and at the end, there's a citation. It is Betts, 2008, surname, year. The only time that you may change from a surname to a year is when an organization is the writer. For instance, if there's a report put out by a department, the Department of Education, the Department of Defense, then you may find that you will use the departmental name rather than a person's name. But those cases will come up later in later videos. So we've looked at the in-text citation. Let's look at the full picture, because we have got on the one hand a text citation, and on the other hand that has to then collate to something that gives us way more information and allows us to go to source, find that original reading and read it for ourselves. So one of the things that we've got to think about is that the things that appear, or the readings that appear in the reference list, are always going to be readings that the reader can access for themselves in a library, in a database, wherever. But they have to be able to go to source and find that. So if you've got, for instance, a transcript of a conversation that you had with a person doing research, that is in your collection, and it may be that you never are going to make that publicly available because you guaranteed confidentiality to the person you were talking to, and because you said that their work could only be used for the purposes of writing up whatever you're doing. So you can't actually put that into a public environment where somebody else can get hold of it. So in that case, you are never going to put that in a reference list because it will never be traceable by another person. So what goes into the reference list? Enough information that the reader is able to access all of the articles that a person has used, will be able to find them. So in the case of this Betts citation, we'll look at it and see that we have a whole lot more information. We've got Betts, we've got the initials, we know what the year is, and then we've got the title of the article that Betts wrote. So Teaching and Assessing Basic Concepts to Advanced Applications Using Bloom's Taxonomy to Inform Graduate Course Design. And then the name of the journal in italics and the volume number in italics. The italics is really important because you will have a different way of using italics for the name of a book the name of a chapter in a book. And the use of those italics is critically important that you get it right. The other thing to notice in this title is that there is a colon in the title. And the first letter of the title is capitalized, and the first letter after the colon is capitalized, and proper nouns, blooms, for instance, bloom is a noun, it's the name of a person, bloom is capitalized. So you don't, even though you may find in various articles that you get that they use title case in the title of the article where every word is capitalized, when you're referencing an APA, you will not capitalize every word. You will only have the first letter capitalized, the first letter after the colon, and proper nouns will be capitalized. We will be moving on to how to use citations in different ways in the next video.